G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR. Now about 3 weeks ago I put out a pre-season injury update video, and given the fact that SuperCoach Gods have been cruel to us over the last 24 to 48 hours, I thought it would be a good opportunity to give you a bit of an updated injury list. Now, if you didn't check out my upload from last night, please make sure that you do, because it does come with a big warning, and I do give out some pretty important advice in regards to the SuperCoach Gods going into this season. But I will keep it pretty short. We'll keep the same format as last time. We'll go through the teams alphabetically, and we'll start off with the Adelaide Crows. Now, Matty Crouch, he's returning from post-season arthroscopic surgery on his hip, but tracking pretty well at the moment, looking to play some minutes in the practice matches. Tommy Duday, gone down with a groin injury. His return to football, well, the time frame anyway, is to be announced, but they're not too concerned with it at this stage. They should know a little bit more later on in the week. And Lockie Scholl apparently injured his finger at training, but nothing to see here. All good. On to my boys, the Lions. Joey Danaher absolutely flying at the moment, locked into my SuperCoach side. Nakai Cockatoo training well, uninterrupted pre-season, will be in our round one side in our best 22. Lockie Neal, I was a little bit scared by this news that he was dealing with a little bit of a niggling calf injury, but his return to full training now. They were managing his loads, but he's an ultra professional, but always a little bit of a concern that a player that we're paying over 700k for is dealing with some little niggles. And Dane Zorko, managing his training loads after Achilles and calf injuries last season, will spend a lot of time in the forward line this season. Do not recommend him as a starting pick. And my team review on Brisbane will be out in the next 3 days also. On to the Blues. Paddy Gripswell, he's very close to full fitness at the moment. Changed up his training routine, now focusing more on his strength, which I think will be good for him. And he looks like an absolute lock in my side at the moment. Nick Newman, now on track to play rounds one, which is good news for Blues supporters. A little bit unsure about him a few weeks ago. And if you're looking to select Brodie Kemp as one of those 123k rookies in your midfield, don't do it. This bloke is so injury prone. Last time he was on this screen, he had a back complaint. Now he's got syndesmosis, which I think is Jared Healy's favourite injury. I think he just loves saying the word syndesmosis, and he is now out for 3 to 4 months, unfortunately. On to the Maggies. Jeremy Howe, well, he's still returning to full fitness after a serious knee injury. Adams, he's got a minor hamstring strain. I think they think he'll be right for rounds one, but he's one of those players that we've always got durability concerns about. I would not be looking to start him whatsoever. And Jordan De Goey, he's recovering from an abdominal injury. Should be right for round one though. On to the Bombers. Jordan Ridley, he's now returned to full training after having managed training loads in the pre-season. Heppel, again, another player I was a little bit worried about a few weeks ago, but there are positive signs for him at the moment. Definitely on track to play round one, most likely in our backlines. Hurley, not really a SuperCoach relevant option, but he's got a hip infection. His immediate playing future is in doubt, unfortunately. And just keep an eye on Archie Perkins. Apparently he's missed multiple sessions during the summer, but I am unsure if this is due to injury or if he's just managing his training loads. On to the Dockers. Sonny Walters, do not select this bloke. He's still recovering from ligament damage. And this is interesting. Sean Darcy, he's got a knee issue. He'll miss the start of the season. And not SuperCoach relevant, but Matty Tabner's also gone down with injury. Does this mean that our loophole Josh Treacy at 102k in a ruck here in the forward line, does he come into play? Possibly, I'm not too sure. So we may be on the hunt for another loophole. Put Tommy Fullerton into your books, because I think that he'll certainly get games at some stage of the season for the Lions. Again, I'll talk about him more in my team review, but he may be another option that's got that DPP status, but will cost you, I think it's 123k. On to the Suns. Matty Rao, he's recovered quicker than expected from his shoulder surgery. Absolute beast, this guy. Talked about him last time. No issues now. Right into his contact work also. As I said last time as well, they just need to hold this bloke back because he's an absolute beast, absolute gun, a monster. Matty Rao, he will be right for round one. Rory Thompson, he's still got some knee complaints. May play some games later on the season, but do not select him as a rookie in your backlines. And Elijah Hollands, again, another bloke that's pretty injury prone. I don't think that he'll see much action in the first half of the season anyway. Lockie Whitfield, yeah, well, this is one of the blokes that many of us had locked in our backlines. Well, he's got a bruised liver, a strained injury, unknown time frame on when he can return to full training. Will probably resume running in about 2 weeks. Now, I've heard Cameron say that there's a possibility that he might be right for round one. I'm not too sure how accurate that is, but I certainly would not be starting with this bloke. Perfect upgrade target in my opinion. Now, Braden Preuss, this is the other big one. Shoulder reconstruction, out for 4 to 5 months. So, yeah, you either need to go set and forget or try to find another value option, I think. And Briggs, again, not a really SuperCoach relevant player, but he's one of those young ruckmen. He's dealing with a hip complaint at the moment. Will not play early matches at the start of the season. Now, does this mean that Sausages Mumford now comes into play? Does Meat come into play? Or else I had a bit of a sneaky look at Finlayson and Riccardi because, you know, they've got a bit of height to them. I thought, well, who else, you know, on the GWS list can maybe step into the ruck position? I know Riccardi's pretty athletic and tall, as I said. Yeah, mid 300k for those blokes. So they are forward line options. I tell you what, if there's any talk particularly of Riccardi playing in the ruck for, you know, maybe the first part of the season, he'll certainly be a pod that may come into contention for me. Now, Geelong, Paddy Dangerfield. Now, Chris Scott says that apparently he's recovering pretty well. I know Jono has him in his side now. I talk with Jono on Instagram a fair bit. But look, I'm still a little bit worried about this. And look, even if he does play round one, I expect him to play a lot of forward minutes, I think, because I don't think it makes sense to chuck him straight into the midfield, just ease him into his football, and I think the best option to do that is to play him the forward line. So I will not be starting with him at this stage. Mitch Duncan, he's got a calf injury, in doubt for round one. And Jeremy Cameron, apparently he's dealing with a hamstring issue, now back to full training, which is good. Onto the Hawks, Sicily, well, don't select him. Serious knee injury, won't play this year. And Titch, he's still recovering from shoulder surgery and still has not got 100% confidence with his legs. So that's a big concern for me. And again, the absolute perfect upgrade target for me. Jack Gunston, probably not SuperCoach relevant, but has a bulging disc, out for 4 months. The D's, Benny Brown, yeah, he's gone down with a knee, will miss the start of the season, should resume running in about 3 to 4 weeks, I think, but cross him off your list. And Sam Wiedemann, not a SuperCoach relevant player, fractured his leg, I think it's 10 to 12 weeks that he'll be out for. But again, does this bring blokes like possibly a Majak Door? Don't know what his price will be if he does make his way into the Melbourne list. Do GWS have a bit of a sniff around him? I'm not too sure, but someone like him could come into play. And does it make Tom McDonald another option that we look at a little bit more closely? I'm not too sure. And Caton Oliver, I call him, you know, Piggy, Clary, and now Caton, due to my spelling there. But he's managing his training loads, but will be fine for round one. He's ramping that up at the moment, but that's again always a little bit of a concern because I've locked in Neil and Oliver into my starting squad, and given the fact that they haven't been training fully for the whole of the pre-season, a little bit worried, but certainly still think they'll start with them at this stage. North, pretty clean bill of health here. Ben Cunnington did have a concussion incident, but good for round one. Port, no real issues here, nothing to see. The Tigers, Basher Hooley, yet to resume full training. Still a chance to play rounds one, but I don't think he'll get back to his best form. Jaden Short, I think, could be a good option. And Ivan Soldo, out for the season. Does that bring someone like Nankin, who I did mention in my Rucks video? Now that Bruce has gone down, I'm not too sure. I wouldn't have the kahunas to do it, but if you're looking for a mid-price option, maybe he's your man. The Saints, geez, haven't they had some bad luck over the last couple of days? Zach Jones, hamstring. He'll return to full training in about 3 weeks. Clark, this is good news. No longer on a modified training schedule. He'll be right for round one. Marshall, we all know about him. Scrap him off your list from your starting side. He will not play round one. That's an absolute guarantee. Not SuperCoach relevant, but good luck to Benny Patton. I think he broke his leg today. Terrible for him. Really underrated sort of player. Goes about his business quietly, and a player that I think the coach would love just to select every week. So bad luck to Benny Patton. The Swannies, buddy, I just wouldn't be going near this pick. You know, at his age, with his injury issues over the past, was it 2, even 3 years now? I'm not too sure. It seems like forever. I just wouldn't be going near him. Heaney, when Marshall went down, I thought, geez, does someone like a Heaney come into contention? But for me, he's still, I suppose, not at the level I need him to be at this stage of the pre-season for me to consider him. And Jordan Dawson, on good news, was on a modified program. He's looking fine, I think, at the moment. West Coast, he's their major concern there. He actually pulled up sore last week after he ramped up his training levels, so they're going to pull right back on him now, and I don't think he'll see any action early on in the season. And finish off with the Doggies, Adam Treloar. No surprise to see this bloke on the injury list. He's always on the injury list, and that's why I'm just not going to look to select him at any stage of the season. He's got some calf tightness, nothing too serious, I don't think. Will resume full training in 2 weeks and still on track for round one, but I want to make it really clear I'm just not a fan of the Adam Treloar pick. So they're all the relevant SuperCoach options, I think, at the moment that do have some injury clouds at the moment. If I have missed anyone, please let me know down there in the comments section. But that's all for now, guys. Take care, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers, bye.